let's go for something a little bit lighter because it is completely bonkers right now, and there are still idiots who are using the fact that people are afraid to try to make a buck. This is not a problem with capitalism, this is a problem with people being twats in a capitalist society. Quite frankly, there will always be twats, and all we can do is love them from afar. Because quite frankly, up close, it's terrifying. Okay, so quite frankly, let's try a little bit of fun. I've noticed a lot of idiots lately. There was the lady who was videoing her sprinkler system giving off rainbows and saying that this is a sign of Satan because never before have artificial water systems given forth rainbows in all of mankind. Now keep in mind that a rainbow happens when water droplets go into the air and the sun is filtered through them. You may also see a rainbow effect if you're looking through your eyelashes on a sunny day. This is just a prismatic effect that happens because of the fact that, quite frankly, light plus moisture or iridescent or things like eyelashes, pieces of glass, can cause an iridescent effect. My television, for example, has a glass along the outer surface that, when combined with sunlight, will actually throw rainbows on the wall. Simply put, if it's clear enough and the sun can go through it, those rays may cause a prismatic effect. However, it's fun to look at people and say, I think you're a bit of a dink. There are some examples of idiocy that are rather funny, but also really, really sad. And those I cannot mock for the life of me. People using hard times to make a buck or to get other people to believe as they do and then hurting them has been something that's been going on for generations. In fact, many, many thousands of years. There was a quote-unquote prophet in the Bronze Age, just before Jerusalem fell, who led an entire community off of a cliff after telling them that he was the Messiah, and after bilking them for everything they got. That's right, he led them off a cliff like, dare we say, possessed pigs and or the popular conception of lemmings who don't actually go and jump off cliffs. That is a myth that was propagated by the Walt Disney Corporation back in the 1950s when they did The Wild World, and they actually had some of their people throwing lemmings off a cliff for the purposes of trying to prove a point. Idiots. Abusive idiots. Anyway, idiots and assholes will always be among us, and okay, maybe not love them, although lately I've been having this, I was always taught that you had to love people. However, there are some people that just get me to really dislike them. So I suppose you can love people, but you don't always have to like them. And I think I'm splitting hairs here, but here we are. Hair splitting also seems to be a normal facet of human life. And boy, can we split hairs. Now, Okay, first things first, don't be a massive twat. Try to be kind, and quite frankly, when I tried to give up cussing for Lent, there were a lot of things that I ended up giving up instead. Like my mobility, my walks. And now it seems like everyone is handling a lack of freedom, and some people are doing it rather badly. Try not to hurt other people. Don't treat it like you're in the middle of a zombie apocalypse. Although it seems like zombies nowadays might say, look at people and go, oh goodness, no, that egg is cracked. Ew. And just keep on. And, shamble away. Which I guess is good if you want to survive a zombie apocalypse. Just act like a complete and total brainless twat. But not so great. So if you're not sick and you don't have the symptoms, sure, go out and go get your 2 gallons of milk. Go out and get your 4 packets of pasta. But remember to be safe and to be sane. Wash your hands. Don't stockpile and then try to resell it. And if someone you know is high risk, try not to go completely bonkers and then go out and infect them, because while you might be just fine, they probably won't be. And they will have to work that much harder to try to beat the virus. However, try to give each other love, work on your FaceTime and your Skyping and on your Facebook Living, and I don't know, make silly hats together on video. Tell each other terrible jokes. Work really, really hard on finding a way to make everything a little less awful. Maybe even teach yourself from a free course. Look at artwork. Many museums are sending out a capacity to look at all sorts of free artwork because they know that many people will not be visiting museums at the moment. Wash your hands, fresh clothing, make for darn sure that if you start feeling sick that you take care of it. Only go out if you absolutely have to, which is gonna suck for me. However, not quite as bad because I really am still not quite getting around as much, even though I've been working out with my fairy god PT's suggestions, from the prone lift onto your arms to the doorway stretch, which really seems to be helping with certain things and has some unintended side benefits because I'm using my arms and thus working out my back muscles and my arm muscles, which helps out, and I don't have, perhaps better than, say, my free weights or large soup cans. Unintended side benefits. It's a good thing. So, in conclusion, love one another. Time to get silly. Don't go around sneezing on people or coughing on people. Probably shouldn't schedule a flight, but don't go bonkers. And quit blaming people of the Southeast Asian cultures. And perhaps just blame the fact that there are a bunch of morons who don't understand the concept of not spreading their disease hither and yon. Oh, and if you are of high risk, take precautions. And love one another, eat well. Don't try to subsist on junk food. And at least call people at least once a week and say, hey, how you doing? I know you're going a little bit bonkers and that you're climbing the walls right now and that they're going to find you doing that thing from the horror movies where a person's crawling on the ceiling and then they turn their head and look directly at the camera like this. I understand. Trust me. I'm that person. Find some of your favorite things to do Um, and whatever you do, don't go insane. And don't pull Bible verses out of your butt that will say, oh, well, we aren't given a spirit of fear. Well, that's awesome. However, we should at least have the spirit of loving one another and the spirit of self-control and tolerance and understanding. And we've been through worse. We will get through this. Also, for people like the hate Reverend Steve Anderson, the whole part about pissing against the wall, that's actually a bad thing. The verses in Samuel and First Kings are talking about killing everyone in town and or the entire family of Jeroboam, including the dude that pisses against the wall. Yeah. Bad scripture use. Just let me know. So, anyway, send me all the idiots you find. And don't be one yourself. Don't go along and go completely bonkers by selling necessary items on Amazon at jacked up prices. Be kind to one another. Be kind to yourself. Love people, love yourself, and hey, love ya. Enjoy the sun if you can. It's beautiful out today, and the birds are chirping and nesting in the trees, and the leaf buds are very, very pretty.